Good morning, everybody. It's about 9:30 now. I've come out over the marina over the road from home just for a couple of hours, do a bit of float fishing. I got a couple of hours free after the school run, so I thought, fancy a bit of float fishing. We'll see what we can do, see what we can catch. There's all sorts of everything in here. We're going to be fishing across here into the marina. Now, I did actually want to fish around that way, up where that white boat is, but it is the mooring area, and obviously boats take priority over there. So unfortunately I couldn't fish over there. There's a couple of the boat just mooring up as well opposite me, and one just coming through the lock. It's Piccadilly Circus here today, but we'll have a go anyway. The river is very, very clear, which has prompted me to come here really. It's usually good for a bite or two. I think we'll catch some rudd, might catch some roach, even the odd tension here, chublets, hybrids, bream. But it's relatively sunny, as you can see, but it's a bit hazy this morning, which again is what prompted me to come out early on. It's going to be a very sunny day again today. It's been very warm of late. What I've done is I've bought my CR10 14-foot match number 2 and 125M close face reel. I'm going to put a little waggler on here, and as I say, we'll have a go in here. It's quite weedy, you can probably see. There's lots of streamer weed, lots of milfoil in here, but there's a few clear spots in between the weed, so we'll drop in there. I've got some bread with me. I've got some mashed bread to feed, and I've got just over a pint of maggots, mostly red ones, but we've got a few different colour ones in there. Right, that really is enough waffle. Let's crack on. So guys, chuck a bit of mashed bread in. Got the float set up. I've got it's actually a little canal waggler on. Lovely and sensitive, perfect for here. We can change it up if we need to. I'm going to fish about 2/3 depth to start with, I think, and we'll just see how we get on. It's not the easiest place to film here with this big yellow post in the way, but we'll have a go. Alright, I've just caught a rudd on a bare hook, so I think it might be alright today. I just dropped that in when I was shotting it, and yeah, rudd on a bare hook. Perhaps I should have left my bait at home. Certainly the right weather for the summer species, but I didn't quite expect to catch something with no bait on. Alright. That's a bleak. As I say, there's all sorts of everything in here. So we could have quite a nice morning. Probably just give it a couple of hours maybe, but if this keeps happening, maybe a bit less than that. I thought it was a bleak, it's a little chub. I was just going to start moaning about the bleak. It's a tiny little chub. I did think about bringing a keep net this morning. I thought we can have a look what we've caught, and I thought, nah, we'll leave it at home. We'll just travel light. Just bought a few bits and pieces with me. I think it might be a case of needing to get this bait down a little bit quicker than this though. We got another little chub. Well, I was hoping we might catch a few chub today, but I was hoping they'd be slightly bigger than that. I say I'm fishing on the drop at the moment, so we are going to get lots of little fish. It's obviously a big shoal of little chub in here. We'll have a little play about it, see what we can do. We can always go on a big bit of bread flake or something. Should we fancy it? Oh, I can see a golden rudd down there. That's a standard version. This is crazy fishing. God, this is just crazy. They are ravenous. I'm not surprised that the water's very warm, I would imagine. I could do the temperature, but I bet it's over 20. Oh, they're getting bigger as well. which is great. It's cracking, isn't it? They're not big, but they're getting bigger. Yeah, such a shame we couldn't get over there. Unfortunately, those people are on deck chairs. They look fairly comfortable. I don't think they'll be going anywhere in a hurry. Well, it is a rudd, a chuck, of that sort of size at the moment. This is great. Exactly what you hope for. And hopefully they'll get bigger. So odd just feeding the float in through the gaps in the weed, especially when it's all moving about. We can have a move, of course, as well. Move up into the marina if you fancy it. It's all red at the moment. It's suicidal. I can see a few swimming about. They look a reasonable stamp. But he's not even getting down at the moment either. You know, so we're not even likely to be catching any sort of perch or. God, there's a few. Quite nice. Well, it looks like a chublet there. I mean, it's not massive, but much bigger than the ones we were catching. God, I've caught loads and I've had half a dozen fall off. Couldn't get it bigger. This is cracking. Absolutely fantastic. It is a little bit hook a duck at the moment. We'll have a go for some bigger stuff soon. Just nice to get a few bites to start with. As I say, there are a few bigger fish cruising about. I can see them. It is so clear. It's about 6 foot deep where I am, and I can see the bottom. So that's been grabbed on the way down. To be honest, I almost don't need a float. Watch them grab it as I put it in. Oh, I'm going to have to bring my daughter down here again. She's obviously at school at the moment, but we'll come down in it, perhaps over the weekend. I'll bring her in a little whip. I did think about bringing that this morning. That was great to fish with, that was. Well, that's a better one. As I said, I'm watching them grab it at the moment. That's a nicer fish. Chunky little one. Right, I'm going to shallow up because at the moment this is just, I don't even need to be that deep. I'm fishing about 3 foot deep and I'm about 2 foot over what I need to be honest. Just for now. But like I say, sitting down, I've not got the best view, but even so, I can see them grabbing maggot. What I would imagine, we'll slowly catch some bigger ones, and then it will all stop. I can see them now. There's half a dozen of them got straight on those maggots. But you'll know if you watch the channel, sometimes I just like to go out. It's just nice to go out and get some bites. You don't always have to catch monsters. Fishing's not just about catching big fish, not to me anyway. This is lovely. Absolutely wonderful. Now, you know, it's also about what you do. Like I say, this river is crystal clear. It never fishes in these conditions. Not for specimen fish, not unless you want to fish into dark. And, you know, I could have gone chub fishing today and perhaps gone trotting or something, and I don't think I would have caught anything. So, you know, it's about doing the right thing for the conditions as well. I know there's some rudd over here. I know they're likely to be up for a feed in these sort of conditions when it's nice and warm. And I reckon we've been fishing about, I would say, 10 minutes, something like that. And I reckon that's about rudd number 15. We're just hauling at the moment. And this is, what's wonderful about this place is it's full of all sorts of everything. I can't think of a species of fish I haven't caught in here, to be honest. Yeah, core species we're talking. Absolutely everything in here. You can carp around. Well, you know, the barbel coming out a bit further up there. And everything in between that and bleak. Roach, rudd, tench, hybrids. I've had a decent bream myself just up there a while ago. I'm talking of bleak. I shouldn't have said the name, should I? Spoke too soon. Single red maggot. A size 16 at the moment, which is very, very crude. It's certainly doing the job. As I say, I'm fishing about half depth currently, which is why obviously we're catching lots of rudd, and I mean lots of rudd. As I say, I'm not going to put all these in, but we've had stacks. I'm now thinking I should have bought my Kina. I mean, it's literally that fast. Let's try a bronze maggot. I don't think it makes much difference today. As I say, we had the first fish on a bare hook, so I can't see maggot colour making much difference. Can certainly see it easier as it sinks. There we go. Oh, I missed that. That was a slower bite. Oh, that's because it's a bigger fish. Slightly bigger. What a cracking session. I'll put a bit of bait in here. There's a bit of a clear spot. Some mashed bread. I also did the same sort of across there. We'll have a spin around. As and when this dries up. At the moment, as I say, it's a little bit hook or duck. I don't mind because you're catching some nice rudd. I certainly don't have a problem with it. They're not minuscule. I mean, that's I got stuck in the weed. I mean, that's a cracking rudd. God, they're nuts as soon as you touch them. I mean, it's no monster, but you know, it's absolutely cracking to be catching these. Wanna chuck. And they're definitely getting bigger. I mean, that's just about a lifter. I won't want anything much bigger before we put the net under it. But yeah, I think we've cracking. I think we've caught all the little ones. And now they're getting bigger. Probably not going to do the swim too much good chucking them back. They do seem particularly keen this morning. But even after a few minutes, the swim's changing already. We're getting bigger fish, slightly less bites. Absolutely perfect. Certainly had a nice net of rudd so far. As I say, we'll fish a bit deeper soon. We'll go a bit further down. I'm sure we'll catch some perch in and amongst the roots of the weed. Perhaps a bigger rudd, but yeah, I mean, look at that. You can't moan, can you? I'm catching one of these at the moment every 30 seconds. Catching one of them. This is crazy. In a good way. Certainly on these maggots. And another one. Certainly a lovely stamp today. Sometimes you can catch lots of little ones, but a lovely stamp today. And noticeably already after 10 or 15 minutes, the bites are coming lower down in the water. I'm fishing about 2.5 foot deep, and I was been able to see them grabbing it from here, but I'm not able to anymore. They've just dropped down in the water. But it may be that we're catching some bigger ones. What's this? Roach? First roach of the day, or is it hybrid? Yeah, it's a hybrid, look. Bit of roach in there, but definitely quite a lot of bream as well. We even got these up in the water. Cracking. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. This is brilliant. This is wonderful. We'll keep the bait going in. Hopefully get the spot going and get some fish further down feeding on the bottom. Blimey. Shot away. You know, you see how deep I'm fishing, maybe, yeah, 2.5 foot, and it's about 6 foot down there, so we're not even fishing half depth. And it's getting grabbed before he gets to the bottom of the fall as well. Oh, it's a huge koi over there. Oh, big old koi. I don't know if you can see it, you probably can't. There is a big old koi. Wonder if he's interested in any maggots. Nope, that scared him off. Oh, I don't know if you can see him, guys. He's just cruising around on my float. We saw a couple of carp last time I was here, cruising about. Yeah, he's just moved off to the left there. Not exactly my number one on my list, river carp, I have to say. That too fussed. Well, it just stopped the bites for a minute as that koi cruised through. He's over there. Again, I have no way of catching him, like last time I was here. Let's chuck a load of mashed bread in, see what his reaction is, out of interest. Right in front of him, just cruising across the spot now. Yeah, he's just looked at that like, yeah, that looks very suspicious. Yeah, he's a little cruise past. He's not that big. He's probably high single figures. Scrape a double. By the looks of it. He's just cruised off. Yeah, there. Nice to see a few carp again around the place. We used to have quite a few carp in here. About 4 or 5 years ago, the otters turned up. The place was full of carp and barbel, and the otters just sort of decimated them, rather. Oh, there's a cracking fish, look at that. Absolutely epic. Look at that. And yeah, they kind of got decimated, rather. I mean, the stretch below the weir here, it's not recovered to anything like it was. I don't know if it ever will. The barbel really got hit hard. But, I say, that was about 5 years ago. Since then, the otters seem to sort of spend about 2 or 3 years making hay, taking all the big fish, having lots and lots of babies. There was otters everywhere. But, as I say, about 5 years later, don't see nearly as many. I think they've thinned out all the big fish, and now it's hard going. They've actually had to spread out. I think that's giving the fish half a chance again. Hence seeing a few carp around, and I've heard of the odd barbel coming out here, but not very many. Well, the stamp of fish has gone back small again. We scared all the big ones off. Well, that koi has, perhaps. He's cruising around, just doing circuits. I mean, I'm not going to try and catch him on this gear. I've got 015 main line on, 013 hook link, and all this weed. I don't think so. No, the stamp has gone up again. I mean, I'm putting all these back, so it makes you wonder if I'm catching any of them twice, to be honest. They're probably not the sharpest knives in the drawer. I wouldn't think so. I don't know, that's stupid, but you never know. Well, this spot's certainly rocking at the moment. As I say, I've not felt a need to get the bait down because we're catching some nice fish. So, that's gone all the way to the bottom for the very first time, and we've not had a bite. So, that's time to go a bit deeper. Stick another foot on. I know how deep it is in here. We're round about 6 foot down there. So I do know now we'll be about 2/3 depth, I would say, at that. Gone a good foot deeper. We're about 4 foot now. I think we've had all the very keen fish. Just getting a bit more cautious. There we go. There you go, look, put a foot on, get a perch straight away. Come here. Wonderful. First stripey of the day. Nicely in the scissors. Off you go. There we go, look. Dropped a foot down. We've had 2 new species straight away. Perch and then a roach straight away. There's clearly a lot of fish down there. Get a bit more mash bread in. Got this mixed up sort of semi-stiff. I want some of it to get to the bottom, but also want it to cloud up. You can probably see it in the water clouding up. Again, I was thinking perhaps of fishing over there when I mixed it up. I just literally mashed a loaf up. If you want to see how I do it, I'll stick you a link up there and in the description just to show you how I mash bread up. I do get asked fairly regularly how you mash bread up. I mean, it's very easy. You just put some water in and mash it up. But, you know, you can be a little bit more careful with it and get a consistency that you want. I know people, you know, they do it on the bank. They stick a loaf in the landing net and just dunk it in the water. Does the job perfectly well. Feels like a perch. Yeah. But you can control the consistency a bit better than that. Oh, that was a nice perch as well. Cracking. As I say, we've just gone that extra foot of depth, or just about foot. Yeah, probably a good foot actually, looking at that. And it's just completely changed what we're catching. Now the odd bit of this fishing is feeding the bait and the float into the gaps in the weed. What I'm trying to do, because I'm still fishing on the drop, is I'm trying to lay it out in a line so that the bait swings down nicely. So if it gets grabbed on the way down, I can see the float move. If you just dump it in a pile, the maggot will sink. You've got loads of slack line out between the float and the bait. You just don't see the bites. It is certainly slowing up a bit. Beautiful bite. Float just sailed away. Look at that. That's a lot of the appeal of coming over here is catching these fellas. We've not had a huge one yet. There's some big ones in here, but certainly can't moan about catching them. Like that. There we go. Ooh, this is a rudd, which I think it is. It's a nicer one. Is it a lifter? Again, just about the biggest one of the day. Look at the colours of that. Look at the colours on that. Absolutely wonderful. A bit more confident some of these maggots are getting to the bottom now as well. Now it's slowed up a bit. Blimey. Hornet on me rod then. I need a lot of hornets this year. What's this? Roach? I think it's a roach. Cool. Cracking roach, look at that. Wonderful. Fat fella. Go on, back you go. Probably just been troughing on my mashed bread. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having a wonderful time. This is brilliant. Really enjoying it. The hazy cloud that we were supposed to have is all burnt off. So it's full on sun. It's certainly not affecting the fishing in here, but we're sort of fishing where the fish live, you know, because we're fishing in the weeds. We're sort of going to the fish. Plus, of course, species like this that don't really mind a bit of sun. And it's nice to do it catching the odd roach. Got to be a perch. No, it's a rudd. Ooh. Nice one. Is that the biggest one of the day? It is the biggest one of the day. I think perhaps we should have put the net under that one, but... Ooh. I'm losing my rod in the water. Things like that. Cracking. Took us on a tour of the weed beds. So the thing about this place as well, you just don't know what species of fish you're going to catch next and how big it's going to be. Oh, blimey. Oh, a load of weed coming across now. Across the spot. That's going to make things a bit tricky. Ooh, golden rudd. Golden rudd. Look at the colour of that. Well, star of the day so far. Right, swan fight. Look at the colour of that. I think it must be an ornamental species. You catch the odd one in here. Wow, it has gone quiet here. We've gone a bit further down, as I say, sort of nearer the bottom. Still about a foot or so off the bottom. But it's gone very quiet. We'll give it just this cast and then we'll have a swing round, I think. Try and over there. See what we can find. Right, see how we can do over here. There we go, that's a bite straight away. And I bumped it off. Wasn't very big. Let's go back to single maggot. Seem to bump quite a lot of fish off. Certainly smaller fish. If you fish double maggot, I've noticed. They haven't got very big mouths. But they grab one of the maggots and don't really grab the hook. God, it's going nuts. Nice rudd. God, it's a good start over here. Cracking. Now we've caught some cracking rudd this morning. Nothing massive, but some lovely fish. This is not a rudd. It looks far too silvery. I know it is. Spoke too soon. Cool. So I had £1 for every one of those I caught this morning. I have to go to work for a fortnight. And this really is the reason I didn't bring the pole as well, or the whip, I should say, because you know I can just get out a bit further with this rod. And as I say, if we're going to fish over there, we won't be able to use the whip anyway. If we want to get over much further out. Well, certainly better stamper rod over this side. Well, that will just dropped onto some bigger fish. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. It's lovely. Slow bites across there. Float just slowly draws under. He took us on a guided tour of the weed bed, as you can see. Well, we were catching a rudder chuck there, some nice ones as well. There was a big load of bubbles come up, and suddenly nothing. I'm pretty sure there was a pike strike in there, and I think it scared everything off. That's my reading. Which is a bit of a shame, because we're having some nice fish. There's loads and loads of jacks in here. I certainly used to be. I'm sure there is with all these bait fish, some zander as well, and some decent perch. So guys, we've been at it about an hour and a quarter, something like that. It's gone quite quiet over here, but like I say, I think predator trouble. The people over there that I thought were moving don't seem to be moving now, so it doesn't look like we'll be able to go over there, so I'm quite sure what to do really. Persevere here, I guess. We could go down below the lock and have a go down there, but it's generally nowhere near as productive as up here. And to be honest, we'll give it another half an hour or so, whatever happens. It's been fantastic today. And I am going to bring my my daughter over here again. It can be very moody over here, to be honest. Sometimes you struggle to get a bite. But today, certainly haven't struggled in the slightest. Aside from with a weed. Just come over and give it a rake, really. Oh yeah, this spot over here where I was catching these rudd a minute ago, it's just absolutely died. Can't get a bite now at all. Can't buy a bite. Just try a bit further around. Sometimes it's just kind of a case of trying to find where the fish are. But to be honest, if you can't get any more bites, or if it's gone off a bit, it doesn't really matter. We've had an absolutely cracking hour and a half. Alright, it's going sideways. Looks like the fish are back. I'm sure that was a pike strike. Suddenly we're getting some bites here again. I don't think we're going to be able to fish over there. I thought for a minute those people were moving, but it doesn't look like they are. Which is fair enough, you know, it is the mooring area. I'm not moaning at all. And it does say on the painting on the poles in very old, almost unreadable writing, it does say no fishing. But it's not really an issue so long as you give way. There we go. God blimey. That was an absolute stonking great rud. I had a little dip on the float and then nothing. That's annoying. Yeah, the float just dipped and then it didn't do anything. I thought I'll recast it. There was a stonking great rud on. Oh, how annoying is that? Oh, I've upset him now. And probably all his mates. That's frustrating. I don't know if you saw that. I presume you did. But yeah, we had a fish on. You must just pull the float a bit and then just let the line go slack and be sat there. Yeah, as suspected, I bumped that rod off and it's gone quiet again. It's annoying. Just trying to attract him back with a bit of mash. Come on, fishies. Oh, he's grabbed that just under the surface. Little rod. Tell you what, let's put a bit of bread on. I'll just keep sprinkling a bit of mash in next to it. See if that does anything. Put a little bit of flake. Just put that mash in, it's just sinking nicely. Just drop a bit of flake in next to it. Oh, that's right on it, look. Beautiful. Right, let's see what happens. It's sinking much faster than a lot of that mash. It'll be interesting to see if anything grabs it. Hopefully it might be a slightly better stamp of fish. Not that I'm complaining about the stamp of fish we've had, it's been cracking this morning. Might perhaps be expecting a bit too much. Had some nice fish. It's 11:30 in the morning on a very clear river in the bright sunshine. We'll give it 5 minutes here, I think, and then we'll have a spin round and we'll try the spot that we were fishing earlier. Just see if we can pick some up off there on the bread. So guys, that is it for me for today. I've had a cracking time down here. Spent about an hour and a half catching all sorts of everything, mostly rudd on maggots. The last sort of half an hour, 40 minutes, I tried to pick out perhaps a bigger fish on bread, but again, I was just getting lots of bites off little fish, catching the odd sort of roach and rudd on bread, but nothing too exciting, but not really overly surprising. The fact that it's very, very clear, the sun's out and it's really hot. I mean, and it's the middle of the day, not surprising at all. And as you can probably hear in the background, it's like Piccadilly Circus down here at the moment. There's boats going in and out, in and out. Oh, I've got to make tracks anyway, I've got stuff to do. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope you have too. Now, I'm going to be out again in a few days down the Y. Hopefully trotting for some chub and barbel, that's the plan. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.